Hey, it's Quadex here, and I'm here with the next part. Get this to 50 likes and comment key or any other comments you may have. I respond to all comments, and I would love to see some new faces, and I would love to see the old faces. It's weird, like when someone I'm used to seeing like just stops commenting or like doesn't comment for a few episodes, and then like when they come back, I'm like, hey, where were you? It's nice. I like it. So yeah. Anyways, let's get into the story. Thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, let's get into it. Hokage office. Observing Naruto through his crystal ball, Hiruzen was happy that he had made some wonderful friends, but he wished the boy would open up more with them. It's not always good to keep everything bottled up inside, Hiruzen thought. So what do you think of him so far? Hiruzen asked the Jonin who stood beside him. As you said, he doesn't talk much, but he still formed a close friendship with his friends. He doesn't trust people very fast, but he's very observant and is very intelligent. I believe he always thinking 2 steps ahead, Hiruzen said. That has to be expected, the Jonin commented. You don't get promoted through your academy years without an ordinary performance. Hiruzen nodded. I expect you to take care of him. That's the least I could do for him, the Jonin said. His father was a very dear friend of mine. I may not have been able to be there for him in his childhood, but now I'll be there as his sensei to guide him. You will have a difficult task ahead of you, Hiruzen then said. Perhaps. But now at least I can get that troublesome woman off my back, the Jonin muttered, then speaking more loudly. But if that's all Hokage-sama, I think I should going to meet them. Hiruzen shook his head as his best Jonin gave a casual wave and walked out of his office. Did every top shinobi have to be so weird? With that thought, he pulled out an orange-covered book and opened it to where he had left off, reading and giggling at the same time. Bro, I want to read this book, bro. Like, that's something that would like get me to read. Where the hell is our sensei? We're the only ones left here, Hana said in annoyance. He'll get here, Hana. Be patient. It's not that late, Uchiha responded. A couple of minutes later, the class door opened and a shinobi wearing the Konoha standard issue Jonin uniform walked in. He had dark hair tied up into a spiky ponytail, dark eyes, and a goatee. But his most noticeable feature were 2 scars on the right side of his face. The 3 genins looked at him in astonishment. Team 12, the Jonin said. It was more of a statement than a question. They nodded. I am your sensei. Follow me. He then exited the room, and then the 3 genin quickly followed him. Training field. When they arrived on the training field, their new sensei ordered them to sit down. The newly prompted genins quickly followed the order and then looked at each other, not knowing what to do next. Now what, sensei? Hana asked. Why don't we start with our introduction so we can get to know each other? He said, his voice slightly annoyed. We already know each other, sensei. Why don't you go first? Uchiha suggested. The Jonin shrugged his shoulders and muttered under his breath. Troublesome. Then he started. My name is Shikaku Nara. Wait, hold up. I thought their sensei was Kakashi. Oh, shoot. My name is Shikaku Nara. I am the head of the Nara clan. My likes are playing shogi, being with my family, and finding time to take a nap without my troublesome wife nagging me. My dislikes are traitors. My goal is to help you towards your goals. He then pointed toward Hana. She nodded and started. The name's Hana Inuzuka, and these little guys are the 3 Hamari brothers. My likes are my family, friends, and annoying my little brother. I hate perverts and people who don't treat animals kindly, and my dream is to become a great medic Konoichi. Shikaku smiled and nodded in satisfaction at her. Now it's your turn, Purple-chan, he said, turning to Uchiha. Uchiha glared at him. My name is Uchiha Uzuki. Not Purple. My likes are my friends and training in Kenjutsu. I also hate perverts, rapists, and Naruto's broody face. Naruto glared at her as she continued. My dream is to become a Kenjutsu specialist and a respected Konoichi. Now you go, Blondie, Shikaku said to the last member of his squad, who simply nodded in return. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I don't have any particular likes or dislikes, and my dream is to surpass all the previous Hokages and protect the Leaf Village and its will of fire, and to live up to my ancestors' names. He spoke in a rush. Both Hana and Yujeo looked at him in confusion at the mention of his ancestors. All they knew was that he had grown up in an orphanage. He never talked about himself with them even though they were friends, and they always felt upset that he didn't seem to trust them well enough to share anything personal. Shikaku also narrowed his eyes a little. He knew about his heritage. Hokage-sama never told me anything about that. He then grabbed his students' attention again. Well, it's good you all have your ambitions and you're serious about your ninja careers. But before you guys can call yourself ninja, you have to pass my special test. If you fail, you'll be sent back to the academy for one more yet. But we're already past the Genin exam in the academy. We don't have to do an exam again? Yujiro asked. Shikaku chuckled at her question and responded. You really believe that just by giving some answers on paper and doing a couple of low-level jutsu that you're ready to become a genin? That's just the select candidates who have the potential to be genin. It's your Jonin sensei who will decide if you will become a genin or not. So what do we have to do to become a genin? Naruto asked with narrowed eyes. Hana and Yujiro also nodded. Shikaku folded his arms and spoke in a lazy tone. Coming on to the part as you see. I really don't want to be a sensei and a babysit you guys. It's way too much trouble for me. His new students looked at him in shock. But I can't just send you back, so we will fight here, and whoever impresses me well enough will stay as my apprentice. The other two will go back to the academy. This shocked them even more. He was asking them to betray each other. What? You can't do that. You can't just simply play with other people's career just because you're too lazy to handle your responsibilities, Hana said angrily. Of course I can. I can't lose my reputation because of you, so I'll just pick out the best one, Shikaku smirked. I won't do it, Yujiro muttered under her breath and looked down. Shikaku raised an eyebrow. Did you just say something, Purple-chan? I said I will not fight just for your amusement, she shouted as tears fell from her eyes. I won't compete with my teammates just so that I can be your student. I will gladly go back to the academy for one more year rather than have you as my sensei. Both Hana and Naruto looked at her in surprise. Naruto had never seen her cry before. Shikaku responded with a shrug of his shoulder. Well, that means less work for me. Now I only have two to select from. Go to hell, Hana shouted with this time with a glare. I also don't want to be on your team. Then it's decided. Naruto, you will be my apprentice and will be on a two-man team from now on. Shikaku pointed towards both the girls. You two will be going back to the academy. Thanks for making it easy for me. They both glared at him with hate and then looked at Naruto, who was just sitting with his eyes closed, not paying them any attention. With expressions of disappointment, they gave one final glance towards Naruto before standing up to leave. I am sorry, Naruto said finally. They both stopped and looked at him. His eyes were closed and it appeared that he was talking to them. They both smiled a little sadly, but before they could say anything, Naruto opened his eyes. I am sorry, sensei, but I can't leave them like this, he said. I never knew my family and never had any friends before I joined the academy. I was always alone, but when I joined the academy and met them, I slowly started to consider them as my friends. I don't have anything other than them in my life, and for me, they're my family. From the shocked expression on the girls' faces, they probably never expected him to say something like that. Smiles slowly appeared on their faces. One thing I learned in my life is to always cherish my friends, and what you're asking me is to just leave them behind for my own benefits. I can't do that. I am sorry, sensei, but this is against my morals. I will go back to the academy with them. He bowed at the end and turned to leave. Shikaku had appeared shocked now tried to make his happy expression behind his lazy attitude and muttered, "What a drag this is turning out to be." He shook his head. "So if this is your final decision, I will give you one more chance to think it over." "I don't have to think more about it. My decision is final," Naruto said, and the three friends turned to leave. Alright, come back, you three. Y'all pass, even though it is troublesome," Shikaku spoke with a smile. The three Gearings turned around and looked at him in confusion, but not without little hope in their eyes. "What do you mean, Sensei?" Uchiha asked. "Would I have to repeat myself?" he muttered quietly before answering. "What I mean is that you all passed, and we're officially a team now." "But how did we pass? I don't understand. We didn't do anything," Hana spoke in confusion. "Your decision to stand with your teammates and not abandon them for your benefit is the reason you pass. Konoha village believes in teamwork, and it's because of that we are one of the strongest villages in the elemental nations. I myself belong to a team Inoshikacho, which is famous and feared for its teamwork. I know the importance of teamwork," Shikaku explained. "Aren't we supposed to fight to show you our teamwork?" Naruto asked. Shikaku shrugged his shoulders before responding. "It's no good. I believe that teamwork develops with time. You can't just start working with each other in one day. But I want to see your thoughts are about your teammates and if you'd be able to work together in the future. Also, finding you all will be so troublesome." This gained a sweat drop from the three Genins. "He's not joking about that. He really is lazy," Hana whispered to Uchiha and Naruto. "So we already passed in, for real?" Uchiha asked. "Why do you guys keep asking the same thing again and again? You passed already, but if we still want to go back to the academy, I can arrange that easily," Shikaku responded happily. Both Uchiha and Hana smiled and high-fived each other. Then Uchiha turned to Naruto and put an arm around his shoulders. "I never doubted that you cared about your Uchiha-chan, Naru. So don't worry, I'll never leave you," she said with a smirk. Naruto blushed a little and pushed her away. "Back off, perverts, and don't come near me." Uchiha's face went bright red from embarrassment as she pointed her fingers at him. "I'm not a pervert, don't call me that." "Then stop touching me and keep your distance," Naruto responded. "But didn't you say that you care about me?" she asked with an innocent face. "I never said anything like that," Naruto said. "You did, I heard it clearly." She then turned to Shikaku, who was watching the scene with amusement. "You also heard him say that in the amazing speech of his, right, Sensei?" "I don't think he said anything like that," Shikaku said. "Huh? If you didn't, then you didn't listen clearly," she said with a glare. She then turned back to Naruto and said with a smile, "Don't worry, Naru. I heard you clearly. So you don't have to be shy in front of me." Naruto didn't have any response to her teasing, so he just folded his arms and snorted, and looked away. As this was happening, Hana and Shikaku watched with amusement from the side. Hana turned to Shikaku and said, "You should get used to this from now on, Sensei, because this is an everyday thing with those two." "Troublesome," was his only response. Okay, guys, I'm gonna end it there. I hope you guys enjoy. Get this to 50 likes for the next part, and I'll see you in the next part. Yeah. Bye.
1, 2, 3